Don't want us to call our most experienced technician? Okay. I work in a manufacturing facility. We had a technician that knew almost everything about our machines. How to fix them, troubleshoot them, and all their weird quirks. When other technicians struggled to find the problem, he came through and saved a lot of downtime. Up to hours per shift. He moved to a different department with slightly different hours for personal reasons. Understandable. He's still there 6 hours during our shift, so he's well within reach if things need to escalate. So he told my boss and I, if a machine is ever down for longer than an hour, call me. One day, our technicians couldn't find the root cause of a problem. An hour passed and I called him on the walkie. Then I got a message from the technician's boss, who I really enjoy working with, asking that I not call this technician over from his department because of morale reasons. You got it, technician boss. So now whenever we have a problem on a machine, it will be down for as long as it takes until it gets fixed or passed down to the next shift, which has engineers and more support staff on call. TL. Deere was told by the technician supervisor that we cannot call our most experienced technician to fix machines as quickly as possible. So now downtimes have more than doubled on average. Maintenance management is what I do for a living. I would never allow my department to get like this. If there are people who are not trained, leadership needs to get them the training. I would never allow my main tech to work alone. He'd have a new guys with him learning every time he was working. Barring that, I would have him work with me on a training program and hit him with a bonus for it as well as recognition. His name on the program. Reading this was painful for me. There are so many ways to fix the issue. If you always rely on the most skilled technician, your other techs will never rise to that level of knowledge. Choosing the shortest path may save a little time now, but it costs you in the long run. Make the less skilled folks figure it out for themselves. Whose morale, I wonder? Years ago I transferred into the IT department in the local government I worked for. Now retired from there. On day 2 my new boss was on the phone with a department head. Here's what he was saying. I have 9 employees, and you are telling me you can't work with any of them. Don't you think at this point the issue is with you, and not my employees? Damn. This reminds me of the joke about the engineer who created a machine for the company that made widgets. When he decided to retire, he trained a couple of techs to maintain, troubleshoot, and fix the machine. After he retired to the beach, drinking Mai Tais, the machine broke down. The 2 techs worked on troubleshooting, but couldn't fix it. Finally, the president of the company called the retired engineer and asked him to return and fix the machine. At first, he refused, but the president offered to pay for a first-class ticket, posh hotel, and didn't balk when the retired engineer stated that his fee would be high. After all, the machine wasn't making widgets, so the company wasn't making money. So the retired engineer comes, walks up to the machine, consults with the techs, watches the machine run without making any widgets, and then walks up to the machine with a piece of chalk. He makes a mark on a part, and tells the techs to replace it. He walks out, and flies home to the beach. When the president of the company receives the bill for $100,000, he calls the retired engineer, and says, "Look, I can't just pay this. I'll get fired by the board. You at least have to itemize this so I can show them why I should pay this much." The next day, he receives an itemized bill. First-class airfare, round trip, $2,500. Hotel, 1 night, $650. Ground transportation, $250. Meals, $500. Knowing where to put the chalk mark, $96,200. I hope you got that message in writing so you can see YA when he inevitably gets chewed out for lowered productivity and tries to blame you. But maybe I'm just too cynical. The pathetic part of this is that the technician should be eager to work with the experienced guy. He could be learning so much while he's getting paid. Morale reasons. It sounds like you overloaded the guy. I'm guessing that he meant it to be a limited support for major emergencies, not something that takes up 20% of his total time. This support is probably stretching him too much and his manager had to talk to you so he could take a much-needed break. Sounds like you're too dependent on this one expert. If he goes on vacation, then things will break anyway. You may want to check how many times you needed to call him and figure out why your other technicians aren't able to solve the problem themselves. You know what's demoralizing? Being frustrated for 8 hours at a time, banging your head against a problem with someone breathing down your neck. So instead of learning from experience, they're trying 100 things that don't work. Fucking manglement at its finest. Where is the malicious compliance? A lot. Face with rolling eyes.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. YankeetheGreater is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.